My name is William van Voorthuizen. I'm the PTS at QBS Group and also the product specialist for Business Central, but you may all know me for the monthly updates webcasts. So today, two topics are covered by QBS. First, I will start with the update on the news regarding Business Central specific. Then I will hand it over to Chris to talk you through some news regarding Dynamics 365 in general and also covering the Power Platform. And then we will hand it over to Peter Vak from LS Express, LS Retail, for a demonstration of LS Express. So let's dive into it. First, I would like to cover a few Business Central topics. This is the overview, and I suggest we start immediately with the first one. The summary of the Microsoft changes per October 1st, so 2 weeks ago. Business Central version 17, so release wave 2 of 2020 is available now. That's of course should be familiar to you all. But a reminder, Business Central version 14 is not available anymore for new customers, and that also is applicable for current NAV subscription customers. So those customers need to buy Business Central 17 from now on. For Business Central Cloud, they have made a change regarding the additional environments which are available now as a SKU. So you're able to purchase additional production environments if you need more than the number of production environments you get in the standard subscription. And I will come back to that later on because there's a catch. The license discount has dropped by 10% starting October 1st. And also Partner Source is retired from now on. And all the information has been moved to Partner Source Business Center. And I've included the link in the presentation. So once this will be shared with you, you've got the link. And also the on-premises technical support request from now on need to be logged via the new Services Hub. And I've also included the link for that in the presentation. So just a quick overview of all the important changes started last October 1st. Of course, 2020 release wave 2 has been released. So with that also, of course, the release wave 2 plan, which includes all the features, included the link as well. But I want to highlight a few latest additions to the release wave 2 plan. And the first one is that you're able to schedule data update of application features enabled through feature management. What does that mean? Uptaking application features that can change the user experience, for example, can be very disruptive. And businesses often want to do that in their own pace, of course. So from now on, the administrators can now enable application features per company. And after users have been trained on the new experiences, thus avoiding disruption in daily businesses. So you as an admin are able to release more or less the new features to your end users. Starting February next year, you get the option to restore an environment, a production environment, to a point in time in the past. So with this release, you as a delegated admin, so the partner, can restore any environment, both sandboxes and production, to a certain point in time up to 30 days in the past. And the restore can be performed within the same Azure region and the same country, so the same localization you're currently using. And also the log of the restore operations will be visible in the administration center as well. So it's a great feature. Once again, it's not released yet, but we get the opportunity to restore an environment into some time in the past. And we're also able from now on to access the different environments from the mobile apps that will start in November this year. So within the app, you can easily switch between different production environments and or sandboxes. Next to that, starting in November this year, we are able to unblock multi-factor authentication for the mobile apps. Microsoft has updated the core authentication components for the mobile app to support this multi-factor authentication. So users may be already familiar with multi-factor authentication. That will now also be applicable and possible for Business Central. The last new addition to the release of Wave 2 coming December this year is snapshots. A common support scenario for you as a reseller is to be contacted by the customer with an issue in their solution that needs to be troubleshooted. And of course, you can create sandboxes with a copy of the production data and then debug what's going on. Now you're able to just do a snapshot analysis on the production instance. So no requirement to first create a sandbox environment and copy the production data to that sandbox environment. You're able to use the debugger right on the production tenants to take snapshots of code execution, and therefore allowing you to rapidly investigate and collaborate with the customer on exact reproduction steps. So this is an overview of the last additions to the release of Wave 2, and most of them will be released in the coming months. Next, Business Central in Microsoft Teams. I've covered also earlier in a webcast a few months ago, but now we're able to see what's actually going on. And of course, it's an integration between Business Central and Microsoft Teams, where you have the ability to share Business Central card pages within Microsoft Teams. And those will be shown as a snapshot in your Teams conversation. And once again, that only is applicable for BC card pages. So for example, once you're discussing a sales order with a colleague of you, you can include the link to that card page right in the Microsoft Teams chat. And then a snapshot of that card page will be shown within Microsoft Teams. And right from there, you have the ability to also update those Business Central card pages. So for example, item cards or sales orders or whatsoever. Then the production environments, like I mentioned before, we are now able to purchase additional production environments, but there's a catch, and the catch is that until Wave 2, so including Wave 1 of this year, the latest, every customer got 3 production instances and 3 sandboxes. Starting from Wave 2, so from now on, every customer just gets 1 production environment and 3 sandboxes. So if you need more than 1 production environment, you need to purchase those. And I thought it's something like a €500, $500 SKU per month. And those customers who have purchased Business Central before October 1st, they will get their 3 production environments like they got until the 1st of October next year. So after that, you could imagine that Microsoft is asking to take additional SKUs for that to cover your total number of production environments in use. Then I would like to highlight the virtual launch event, which will be hosted by Microsoft at October 21st. There they will, of course, demonstrate new features of the new release, but you also will get access to more than 30 breakout sessions available on demand, as well as live chats with product experts of Microsoft on October 28th and October 29th. And here you see an overview of the sessions which are available on demand. And yeah, this will be shared with you, of course. Please pick the ones you're interested in, and you're able to follow these sessions on demand. Then some new additions to Microsoft Learn, so the learning portal of Microsoft for Business Central. They've included some new courses, and the first one is use AI in Business Central. It can be used, of course, in Business Central, and with the first one, you get a guide on how to set up the cash flow forecasting with AI, the sales and inventory forecast, And also the latest AI feature within Business Central is the prediction of late payments. Next to that, there's a course of application lifecycle management within Business Central. And do you want to know how to start implementing a version control system to manage your Business Central application source code? From now on, with Azure DevOps, you can do that and much more. And you will learn about those features in this course. And the last one, work with Power BI in Business Central. Do you want to know how to work with Power BI in Business Central? Then you can follow this module on how to get started, how to deploy Business Central dashboards in Power BI, and how to set up Power BI inside Business Central. Then a out of support reminder. Of course, we have communicated this multiple times in the past, but just as a reminder, Dynamics NFV 2016 will go out of mainstream support on April 13th next year. So that means no longer any feature updates, but also no regulatory updates and also no hotfixes anymore. And the second one, NFV 2017, will go out of support in January the year after. Please remember that for Business Central on-prem, the support time frame is 18 months. So if you're on Business Central version 15 for now, for example, then you have to upgrade before April next year to still get the feature updates, but also the hot fixes. And of course, that also applies to the other Business Central releases after that. Every release has a support time of 18 months. Then some news for our German partners and German customers. Business Central environments will now be moved to the Germany West Central Azure region. So all new created Business Central online environments that run on the German version will now be created on a German Azure region by default. And then Microsoft will proceed with moving the existing production and sandbox environments from the West Europe Azure region to Germany Azure region. And of course, that will be done gradually during a minor update. And once that has been completed, you as the notification recipient of that Business Central tenant will get an email and notification that the move has been completed. But that's great news for our German customers that now their data will be hosted in a German Azure region as requested by law. Then the last one, the MB800 certification program, of course, for Business Central. Maybe you're all familiar with that for now, but once again, I would like to highlight that we have some preparation packs now available. So you can join the course, and after that you can complete the exam. And QBS Group has created a promo offer for that you can save some money if you purchase a pack for 5 people to train on Business Central and get through this exam. And of course, if you don't have 5 consultants to go through this program, it's also available for just a standalone pack for 1 student. To order those packages, please use the link in this slide. And if you want to have more information about the course, the exam, and why it's so relevant for you, it has also to do with the cloud competencies. Please watch the video hosted by our colleague Andita Rossa, and the link to that video is included as well. And with that, I would like to hand it over to Chris.
Thank you, William. With a quick camera check and a quick screen share. Oh, and back to the beginning of the presentation. We will begin.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Chris.
Great. So what I'd like to cover today are 3 things in particular. Announcements around robotic process automation, Power Automate, things that happened at Microsoft Ignite, and also Sales Insights. Some significant impacts on customers if they are using particular Dynamics 365 solutions and Microsoft recent licensing change announcements in relation to project operations. And finally today, a piece of QBS-specific intellectual property known as Jumpstart 365 for sales that I think has increasing relevance as we go to market over the coming weeks, months, and indeed years. So just to cover off the license announcements and the potential impact. Back in March, release wave 1, we talked about project operations, how general availability was expected October the 1st. We explained that this was a new addition to the Microsoft portfolio and it brought together capabilities from PSA or Project Services Automation, Dynamics 365 Project Management Accounting or PMA from the finance and supply chain management side of the fence, and also Microsoft Project for the web. Now, Microsoft did launch this as planned, but they have made some changes to licensing and pricing that it'll have a minor impact on customers if they're using their PMA, but it could have a major impact on anyone using Dynamics 365 PSA or Project Service Automation. The changes are that there's a new 20-seat minimum required, which aligns with finance and supply chain management requirements. Because of this alignment, using project operations over Project Services Automation means that the base license cost goes to a minimum of $120 from $95 or equivalent local currency. Microsoft stated that all Dynamics 365 Project Services Automation and Project Management Accounting licenses will have project operations added to their licenses in April 2021 or on their first renewal afterwards. Now, what this means, so all existing PSA customers are going to be impacted. The minimum license cost goes from $95 per month. A one-user base minimum of $95 is $1,140 annually, to a 20-user base of $120, which is $2,400 a month, which I've worked out at $28,800 annually. So depending on where a PSA customer sits, if they have below minimum 20 seats, the impact is anywhere between $1,000 approximately per year and $30,000 approximately per year. So that's the impact. And if you do have customers that are going to be kind of affected by this, I would recommend that you reach out to them in the short term before April 2021 to work on what this really means to their licensing costs. The attached license also went up from, well, the attached license is at $30. But with the new base and with the increases, in reality, a lot of places that'll be a $55 increase. So I've had comments from the channel in particular around this could make it difficult to position and sell. And I think potentially Power Apps in this space will have much more relevant outside of the enterprise moving forward. So one of the other announcements that you may have missed, Microsoft was named as a visionary in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for Robotic Process Automation, or RPA as it's known. It sounds futuristic, robotic process automation. It may bring visions of manufacturing and kind of production lines going through plants. But Microsoft basically put this announcement out on their Power Automate product blog. So in their context, this was related to workflow and the automation of services that you can enable through the Power Platform. And Power Automate in particular. So for robotic process automation, or RPA in this instance, I think Power Automate, which was formerly known as Flow. So why is it worth mentioning this, and why is it relevant to partners with a focus on Business Central? Again, the announcements at Microsoft Ignite recently, the majority of those were related to Project Oakdale, or something that was known as DataFlex very briefly. And Teams integration and how Power Automate can work with that. As you know, kind of from William, it's possible to surface Business Central now through Teams in Windows. And if anybody was paying kind of attention to the screenshot there, the create a new record piece with the Dynamics label on there, sitting on top of the common data service where there's integration capabilities that are possible. This is why I think there's significant relevance to Business Central partners. It's all about the team's integration and how we see modern workplace and dynamics coming much closer together within the Microsoft workloads. There's two links on this slide after for distribution, the link to the original blog post and the link to this Teams flow that shows how to convert a chat to a sales opportunity and how to create those flows for those that are interested. So following on from the robotic process automation, for awareness, Microsoft have made available a Sales Insights SKU, which combines Dynamics 365 for sales with a product called Sales Insights. And if you take a close look at the screenshot there, you can hopefully see how a guided action list now fits in between the left-hand menu bar and the right-hand process flow part of the standard or common user interface, as it's known. So Sales Insights brings automated forecasting and sales rep guidance using some artificial intelligence capabilities and RPA as part of its implementation. It's possible to define action sequences and steps for sales reps, like informed sales process automation. What we can see here is an example of how Microsoft is targeting the enterprise with enhanced capabilities of their own Power Apps for Dynamics 365, but also pricing them accordingly. When you take the project operations pricing and the minimum annual license spend and the cost here, around $135 per month for sales enterprise plus sales insights, you can see where the licensing is heading. It's very much aligned to higher enterprise customers or customers with a specific depth need in certain industries and verticals that can deliver value. So I think the final thing that I want to just cover today is what happens outside of the enterprise. All of these Microsoft products sound fantastic. The level of capability in there is phenomenal, to be honest. But at what point does it become overkill and not relevant to the market that we as QBS and you as partners address on a day-to-day basis? So at QBS, we've created Power App template, and this is newly available that you can use that's built on top of the common data service. This one is all around deals and deal management, and you can see it there on the slide. So it's got the familiar common user interface of the Dynamics 365 applications, and by default, therefore, it has the shared accounts and because it's a Power App. And as you should now be aware, you can set up bi-directional data synchronization of account and contact data from Business Central to the common data service. So this kind of template is designed to be a perfectly complementary deal management solution to help you get started with Power Apps. If I just flick through the screenshot there, we've got the kind of sales dashboard pipeline reporting also included. And to be 100% clear, we do not sell this direct to customers. This is a Power App template available for you as partners on certain SLAs to customize and extend as you wish. You can align the sales process with individual customer needs, so it's fully extensible. You can add additional fields, additional processes into the flow. This is the first of a series of templates that we have planned. We have a projects and time template app, which is already in preview, and also ones around service requests and marketing list enablement also planned in the future. The reason that I wanted to draw attention to this is that this type of Power App runs on a $10 equivalent Power App per app license. Obviously, you need the base storage cost as well. But when you think about the difference between a $10 license or a $95 license or even a $135 license, you can hopefully start to understand where Power Apps fits surrounding Business Central, potentially within Microsoft Teams, along that centralized account and contact data moving forward. So what I will say is if you've got any interest in learning more around that, please contact your partner success manager or your primary QBS representative. Reach out to me directly as well if you would prefer that. And that's all from me today. So I would like to hand over, please stay safe everyone. I would like to hand over to the wonderful Peter Vack from LS Retail. who will be talking about LS Express Solutions, the online point of sale extension to Business Central that addresses the largest vertical market across Europe. Hello, Peter.
Thank you, Chris, very much. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
And you see my slide deck as well, hopefully.
Indeed.
That's fantastic. So thank you all. Thank you, QBS, and thank you all. Welcome to this short presentation about LS Express. My name is Peter Vach. I'm the Partner Experience Manager at LS Retail, which means I look after the global channel development. Many of you hopefully know us. We've been in the Business Central market for over many years and have a lot of customers running Dynamics Business Central around the globe. These are maybe household names like IKEA and Adidas, but we also have a solution for small business retailers, which is called LS Express, and that's the topic of today's call. We joined the QBS ISV program a couple of months ago and really would like to show you what we have to offer together and how we can help you to maybe define a new business segment for you. So some key takeaways from this short presentation is a little bit about retail and why it's such a hot market to go after today, how we from QBS, LS Retail, and also with the help of Shopify, web shop integration, have the right solution to address the SMB retail customers, and retail between brackets here because it could also be for customers that actually do more warehouse management but are in search of a point of sale solution. And maybe the most important part is how do we get you to get started as soon as possible. So a bit on retail. Maybe if you think about retail in these days, you think about shops that are being closed or shops that are not open because of all COVID, what's happening around us these days. But already for many years, retail is a very large vertical. Actually, it's the largest vertical in number of outlets, and so in a number of retailers basically in Europe, and also in number of employees working in this specific vertical. The good thing is because there's so much pressure on this market that they are really forced retailers to look on how they run their business. And as you can see, the way we measure the size of a business is based on the number of point of sales. So the cash outlets on how they make get their money in basically. And what you see is that approximately 5 to 6 years they're looking for replacements, which means that in Europe alone there's 2.5 million point of sales to be placed each year. And obviously this is a cross market segment from the enterprise space to the small biz. But the reason why retail is so hot today is really about the pressure that's on retailers. So even before COVID, retailers have to be extremely competitive to stay alive, basically. Because if you're not competitive enough, then you're out of business. There has been the pressure of e-commerce players already, but also the pressure of really knowing your customers. And there's a nice report of McKinsey, which is included in this presentation, which is called The Cloud as Catalyst for Retail, kind of explaining what retailers need to do and have to do to stay competitive. The single most important pressure they have on them is us, the consumers. Because think of your own shopping experience, how you would like to be treated as a customer and how you would like to buy your products. And what you see is that for all retailers, small business to enterprise, it really means that you need to put your customer at the center. They expect personalized interactions. They increase speed of actions. They want to know that pricing online and offline, so in stores, is all at the same level. And they really want also to be able to buy something online, pick it up in the store, or just the other way around. And enable to do this, you need to have the business capabilities as a retailer to address this. And you see many of today's retailers having a lot of different systems to run their business and struggling with those elements. And if they are not taking action right now, they could be out of business. If they take action, they'll be ready for meeting their customer demands. So for this, we have introduced LS Express, which is our small biz retail solution, online point of sale as an extension to Dynamics Business Central. As you can see here, it runs on different devices and it has all the functionality a retailer needs. So yes, it has all the functionality you know from Business Central, but also specific to retail. So think about gift cards, returns, cash management, cash drawers. All of this is part of the solution. You find more about the solution on this web link on the QBS website, and obviously in the ISV marketplace of QBS. You can also test it as a free trial via the App Store of Microsoft. So despite William saying I was going to do a demo, it's too easy to demo, so I encourage you to do it yourself and check out the free trial. So our motto is always easier, simpler, faster. So what we have tried to achieve with this application is that it should be very easy to configure, quickly up and running, and has all the functionality needed for retailers in today's market, which means it runs on all the devices. So Windows, Android, iOS, as you could see on the previous picture, fully embedded to Dynamics 365 Business Central. So all the goodies and all that's coming in that platform, we are making use of. And it's really focusing on the target market of up to 1 to 5 stores, 1 to 15 point of sales in this. We offer a full integration to LSP. LSP is our solution to cover all ways of how customers are paying. So think about credit cards, think about payment methodologies that are popular in different countries. And there's a lot of payment solution providers out there that cover all these transactions. And LSP is really the integration engine between LS Express and those PSPs, as they are called, payment solution providers, to run the business smoothly. Finally, we also run a Shopify integration, and we're also working with QBS on bringing this to the ISV marketplace, which offers both solutions for the online, so the web shop, as well as the offline, the stores, to run their business. Maybe quickly about which segments to address if you talk about retail, because retail, as said, it's a huge market, but there's a lot of different flavors in here. We really encourage you to look at this and say, hey, which sub-segment or sub-vertical within retail can I address? Fashion is a big one. Furniture is very huge. Electronics, well-being, especially those verticals where there is not a lot of transactions. Think about supermarkets or do-it-yourself, would fit very well for LS Express. So this is good to know, and we have a lot of market information also available. We can help you to build a plan around going into retail. Availability of the solution. We've launched the solution in many countries around the globe. Obviously, QBS mainly focusing on the European market. You see a lot of dots there. And just to make it a little bit easy for you, I put a list in here on which countries the solution is currently available. I know we have also a relation to QBS in the Middle East, so and UAE are also being covered. In case you're from a country and you don't see your country listed here, then please let us also know if you're interested, because setting up a new instance for this and a new version is really something we can help with, but I think we cover most of the countries you're actually active in today. A bit about the pricing models. You can find all about the pricing models on the QBS ISV marketplace, so I encourage you to go there. But it could be that you have existing Dynamics 365 Business Central customers already that are in need of a point of sale solution. Then you can just add LS Express on top of that. And if they're also looking for a web shop, then they can also use the Shopify integration. If they buy it in an all-in-one package, then obviously this is also possible to buy through QBS. Think about around $130 per device or point of sale per month, including Dynamics Business Central. So it's a very competitive pricing we have to offer here, especially if you compare it to non-Dynamics competition out there. And as said, it's a huge market to go after. So what I really would like to talk about more is the 6 reasons, or the reasons to become an LS Express partner. We set up a white paper, which you can find on the QBS website. That's actually a link behind this screenshot in why retail is such a hot market, a bit on what I talked about in more detail. And we would like to encourage you to get your cloud journey started today. A few steps we recommend you to do is, first of all, really define your market segment and your sub-vertical. As said, we have the market information available. We know also a lot about the different verticals and what's needed. But if you say, I'm in Germany and I know there's in my market segment, there's a lot of fashion companies that is small business fashion retailers that are in need of new solution, then let's define that as a vertical and go after it. We had parts that go after hardware stores, or do-it-yourself stores, as it's called in Europe, or parts that going after coffee roasters or small bars. There's a lot of segments you can define with a solution. Then set up a high-level business plan on how you would like to address this. Collaborate with on your business plan with us from LS Retail and QBS, but also think about teaming up with other partners in here. We know partners that are very good in teaming up with hardware vendors. So there's a lot of vendors out there that sell point of sale solutions that are keen on teaming up with software vendors and software resellers like us. In the PSP, these are the payment solution providers, another key player in retail that can help to set up a pipeline and drive the business in this. So we're really keen on helping you with marketing activities, and we in this case is QBS and LS Retail. So as an offer here is for the first 5 partners that come with a business plan and discuss it with us, we'll get you some extra LS Retail marketing funding to get you going and drive market demand awareness and build your collective pipeline. So how do we do this? I hope you're ready to start a new adventure. Nelson is the ISV lead, business development VP at QBS, responsible for the program, and he is the one that should be your first point of contact if you're interested to jump on the retail cloud train as such. We encourage you to do the LX Express training, which you can find in the QBS Academy. It's only half an hour. As said, it's an easier, simple, fast solution to get going. And becoming an LS Express retailer is as easy as 1, 2, 3. That's all from me. Obviously, as you know, LS Retail comes from Iceland, and we see a bright future ahead of us. This is the picture my colleagues on Iceland see almost every day. If you want to come and visit us on Iceland after COVID maybe, then more than welcome to experience this for yourself. But for now, thank you. If you have any questions, this is my email address, and your contact person at QBS is Nelson, and I hope you can spell his email address correctly. It's a very long one, Nelson, but reach out to him and look forward to get you going and answer any of the questions you may have. Thank you very much, and if there's any questions, please let me know.
Hey, Peter, yes, we have received one question, if we have some time left. Quick question. What could be a very good sales trigger? In other words, what would be a very good question to ask from our partner who is reseller to recognize there is a opportunity to improve or to replace their systems, their point of sale system? What could be a good sales trigger question?
Yeah, it's a good one. So I think it's really about the 2 key elements of, so it's most the finance processes as well as the logistic processes. So how do they do their stock management? How do they, for example, know if they have enough stock in store and end of day? So how much money they actually make out of the stores are good questions to ask specifically, because what you will see is that most retailers have non-integrated or badly integrated point of sale solutions with other finance systems. So in the Netherlands, like Exact or AccountView or Visma or anything else. So questions around that, and I think it's a good one, are key to address, and happy to share a few more that can help to identify if there's an opportunity there.
Very good, thank you. And one request, if it's possible to include the URL to the free trial. I don't think that's a problem. Okay, very good. Okay,
yeah,
well,
it's actually in the slide deck. So if you click on that, we'll share this. If you click on that logo, it's coming to the app stores of Microsoft. That's where you can get a free trial. So go there and give it a try.
Very good. Okay, well, thank you all. Thank you, William, and thank you, Chris, and for you guys who joined in. Thank you all for joining in this webcast. Of course, the recording will be shared to all who have signed up for this webinar, and yeah, hopefully we will see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.